What the heck is up, you guys? It's your boy Ace, aka Animated Heroes, here back with another action figure review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the long-awaited BUZZmod Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba Tengen Uzui figure. This is one a lot of people have been waiting on, myself included. So let's not waste any time and get right into it, starting off with the sexy packaging. Now for the packaging, the box is pretty large, which makes sense because this guy comes with a ton of stuff and he's a pretty big figure. As you guys can see, it does say Aniplex right there, Demon Slayer right there, BUZZmod 112, Tengen Uzui, BUZZmod down there with a bunch of stuff that I can't read other than 1/12 scale, yada yada yada. The figure and the accessories in the window packaging, as well as an image of him at the bottom. Demon Slayer right here, BUZZmod right there, nothing much at the top, nothing much on the sides, nothing much on the bottom. And then if you turn it to the back, you've got some poses you can get the figure into, as well as some of the accessories, which this thing looks really dang good. And then of course at the bottom you got a bunch of legal stuff that I cannot read because I imported this figure. Now once again, let's not waste any time and dive right into it, because if you're like me, you guys are super excited for this release. Now, first things first, I saw some photos of this figure floating around the internet right after it released, and to be honest, it didn't quite sell me. In certain photos, it looked a little derpy, it looked a little off, something just wasn't right. And that's usually what it is with most BUZZmod figures. They're really good, but something just doesn't hit the way that it's supposed to. But this figure is different because not only did BUZZmod hit the nail on the head, they completely drove it in with this release. Everything about this figure looks really dang good, and unlike the other figures, some of the choices that they made that were kind of questionable with past releases kind of work with this guy. But this is a beautiful figure, man. Anyway, I gotta say, so far, this guy is worth every PayPal pay-in for payment that I will be making on it. Now, I can sit here and discuss that all day about how beautiful it looks. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at the details. Now, taking an up-close look at this guy, I say this all the time, but how else do you want me to put it, man? It literally looks like he walked right out of the anime. You've got the lined-ish type eyebrows that he has that are kind of like separated, not like regular eyebrows. You've got the paint on his face, that cold look in his eyes. The paint on the face looks really good. You've got the I guess these are kind of like rocks hanging down from his headband. You've got the stones that are painted on there. The hair is sculpted very well, wrapped exactly as it should be. Could have used a little bit of gray shading in there, but it's not bad. Gray or blue actually would have worked. It's even on a ball peg, so it does move around. But as you can see, it is sculpted to wrap around just as it is supposed to. On the back, it does say destroy here, and then we've got some little peg holes. I'm assuming this is where you're going to plug his sword, so that makes sense. Another thing I want to discuss, look at the muscle definition on this guy, man. This dude is jacked, man, and you can even see the sculpted veins. I'm sure my camera is picking up on that perfectly. This is another thing I really like about Demon Slayer. Like, Koyoharu Sensei had no problem drawing those veins on characters, and on Uzui, they were usually popping out like 90% of the time. They got the flashy hands correct. They did my boy right with the fingernail paint. All of this looks really good. He's got the ring on the finger, the bands, these little kind of like gloves, I guess, whatever these are, bands around his arm. The black on this is painted nice. It's a matte finish, looks really, really good. The pants, I'm sure, are the same sculpt we've been getting, but with the build of this figure, they just look, it looks so much better. Like, they looked a little big on characters like Tanjiro, Zenitsu, even characters like Rengoku and Giyu, but on this guy, they don't look bad at all. You got the bandages wrapped around the leg. My guy is literally the most colorful, flamboyant, flashy Hashira as he is supposed to be, and I feel like BUZZmod captured it perfectly. This is by far their best looking figure. Just aesthetically, everything is pleasing, and looking at this guy, there are no flaws that I can find. I am really loving this thing a lot. Now, another thing that I really like about this figure that is completely accurate is the fact that he is a tall boy, man. And I say boy, but he's actually a man. I think he's like 20. But my boy is tall to the top of his head. As you guys can see, he's right at 6.5 inches. And that's pretty big. Of course, I will be doing some size comparisons a little bit later. Now, I got rid of the rest of my BUZZmod, so don't expect any of those. The only one I have is Akaza, and he's currently on the way because I had to get rid of that horrible Figma version. But yeah, either way, he's going to fit in scale very well with characters like Tanjiro, Inosuke, and Zenitsu from the Figma line. Now, articulation-wise, BUZZmod really doesn't miss, so I'm not expecting them to. He looks up very, very well. That's pretty much perfect. That's great. He looks down very well. Be careful with these. They are a soft plastic. They don't feel fragile, but still, I kind of just nudged that head down a little too far without taking into consideration these beads. So be careful. You don't want to break those. Anyway, he does get really good tilt and turn, and you can be very expressive with Uzui as you are supposed to. His hair is on a ball peg, and this works very well. Kind of goes out a little bit, not so much. It's mostly supposed to hinge left and right, which is perfectly fine. That does work for those windswept poses. Now, the arms, this is the only thing I dislike, but they work so well, and it's hideable, so I can't complain. They are on what I call the Revoltech joints. So they go out about that much, which is fine, but the problem is the gap that you get in there. That is pretty dang ugly, man. But when it comes to range, you're not going to be able to do any better. Like, this is just, it's perfect. And like I said, it's hideable no matter how you pose the hands. Unless you're doing out like that, then yeah, you can't really do anything. It's all about the angle. But yeah, still, good job. I just wish they'd find a way around that. Now, the arms, our elbows, they are single jointed, but you can get double jointed range. You just have to maneuver them properly. And then remember, this piece does also rotate, so that can help with certain poses as well. It does limit it just a bit, but I mean, it's muscle mass. What can you really do about it? Now, the hands, they are on a, let's see, they're actually on a peg. I think they normally do hinges, but this one is more of a peg, so it does kind of plug in there, and it does move around just fine. Diaphragm joint is there. I was about to say it's not effective, but it is. I think mine was just a little stiff. He doesn't really lean back too far. He leans forward just a little bit. Most of it's going to come out of the waist. That is very, very stiff, so that's a little whack. And if you turn it too much, it's going to pop off. Maybe if I put some shock oil in there, that might help. But yeah, it does feel like it's a little limited right here. And you guys hear that noise. It doesn't feel like it's going to break or anything, but it just feels like it should be able to move a lot more. Now, at the waist, he turns just fine. You can move him very, very well at the waist. This crotch piece is a floater, so you can pretty much use that to get him to do whatever you want. He can kick out about that much. He can do the splits just fine. He can kick back. The knees are single jointed, but you guys, if you collect BUZZmod, should already know they come with a separate pair of legs for double jointed movement. He doesn't have a swivel right here like I thought he did, but the foot goes down about that much, up about that much. Really good ankle rocker and really good toe hinge. So I would say articulation wise, it's fine. I do feel like it should move a little bit more at the torso. It just feels extremely stiff. But other than that, everything else is really good as usual. Now, when it comes to accessories for this guy, once again, BUZZmod does not miss out. They give us just about everything that we need. I still think there's one more thing they could have added, and I'll mention that in a minute. But first off, he comes with 4 faceplates. We get a neutral expression, which is what he comes with in the package. We get an angry expression, a happier expression, and a happier expression. We get 2 pair of fist hands, we get 2 pair of holding hands, 2 pair of relaxed hands, and then 2 pair of widespread hands. He gets an interchangeable hair piece for when his hair is down. He also has an interchangeable bang piece, which is dope. He comes with his 2 swords, which are connected by an actual metal chain, which I like. He comes with his 2 sword sheath, which are also connected by a metal chain, which once again I like. You can actually plug those into the back. He comes with these 2 pieces for when he does his smoke effects. I really like this. These are painted very, very nicely, and you can use these for pretty much any kind of display. He comes with a mat for resting, and then he comes with 2 pair of knee bent legs, and that's for if you want to interchange him for if he's sitting down or if he's going into an attack pose and you want to have his knee bent all the way. Now, he does also come with these right here, which are like straps. These are what plug into his back, and I think these come off of his swords, and so there's several different options in there. You have some long wraps, some short wraps, some curly, some even more curly. Plenty of options with this guy. Now, the only thing I feel like they missed out on, the only thing is a battle damaged head. One would have been really good where he is missing his left eye, where Gyutaro cut his eye. That one would have been dope to have, or maybe even just a bloody angry face. Like, I really feel like they miss out on those Demon Slayer battle damaged faces. They really could go all in on those because some of those face plates really create iconic moments. So I really wish they would do a little bit more of that. But other than that, I'm happy. These expressions are really good. I just would have substituted one of these for a battle damage face and I would have been happy. Now, moving on to size comparisons, here he is standing next to the Figma Demon Slayer figures. We have him standing next to Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and Inosuke. Now, I feel like all of these look perfect because Tengen is supposed to be big. He's supposed to almost look brolic over the 3 of them because he's older, he's bulkier, and he's just much taller. So honestly, I feel like this look is perfect. And another thing I really like about it that makes this figure almost looks like it fits in with them perfectly is the fact that he doesn't have any soft goods. That was something that kind of bothered me when mixing the BUZZmods and the Figmas. The soft goods definitely don't look really good, in my opinion, next to the ones that are all plastic. This guy has no soft goods, so this just works perfectly for me personally. Now, next up, here he is standing next to his idol, the Figma Rengoku, which I think this is perfectly fine. Also, for those of you who don't know, the Figma Rengoku is actually taller than the BUZZmod. So if you felt like the BUZZmod is too small, then here you go. Figma is taller and much better looking in my opinion. Also, we have him standing next to the Figma Nezuko, which looks really good. She does look tiny next to him, as she is supposed to. Last but not least, we have him standing next to an SH Figure Arts Jujutsu Kaisen Greatness, the strongest warrior of all time in anime history, Satoru Gojo. Here he is standing next to an SH Figure Arts Spy Family Greatness Lloyd Forger, the Figma Jujutsu Kaisen Yuji Itadori, and a Mafex or Metacom toy symbiote Spider-Man or Spider-Man Black Suit. Lastly, for the most random of extras, here he is standing next to the SH Figure Arts first release Kakashi Hatake, the Bandai America Stranger Things Vecna or Big Vec, as I like to call him. And then we have him standing next to a Marvel Legends Zombie Iron Man. And yeah, he looks okay next to all of these, I guess. I mean, not that it matters, but yeah. Now, for my final thoughts on this guy, I mean, you guys watched the review, right? This is one, if you've already started collecting the BUZZmod figures and you're caught up, you gotta add this guy to your collection. Or if you've only collected the Figma and you want Tengen Uzui to add to your collection, this is still perfect to fit right in. Simply because, let's keep it a buck, more than likely 9 times out of 10 Figma is not going to make Uzui. I just don't see it happening. And if they do, I can guarantee you guys, I am 99.999999999% sure it is not going to be nearly as good as this one. They lucked out and gave us a really good, solid Rengoku that was better than the BUZZmod, but then what do they turn around and do with Akaza? We saw that figure, if you didn't go check out my review. But honestly, Figma's just not keeping up with BUZZmod. Sometimes they look better, but everything else, you gotta give it to BUZZmod. I hate to put it like that, but that's usually how it works. This figure looks good, it poses good, comes with great accessories, and it looks like it will fit right in with your Figmas if that's what you collect. It's entirely up to you. You can't go wrong with this release, but I do recommend getting your hands on it now before this guy sells out, because I think this figure is going to sell out, man. Akaza is really going up in price, and I'm pretty sure that it's going to happen with this guy as well, because people are going to see how good it is. But yeah, that's my review. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. You guys already know that always helps me out. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and make sure to hit that bell icon to be notified whenever I upload new content. And lastly, follow me on everything you see listed in the description below to keep up with my activity outside of YouTube. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Stay safe wherever you are, and bye. Go get this figure.